I am Mariposa Abales and I will be presenting my paper on the Integrated Personal Performance Management System in the Philippine Air Force and Analysis. People are the most indispensable asset in any government organization. A government organization with no employees is nothing without them. Employees are the primary resource of the government organizations. Buildings, land, equipment, materials, money, and technologies are useless without the employees who run these organizations. Due to their paramount importance, the government has been investing much in order to develop its employees. This is where the performance and management systems come to play in order to develop strategies that would identify, measure, evaluate, enhance, and reward the employees' performance at work. This study analyzed the Integrated Personal Performance Management System in the Philippine Air Force as a performance management tool. In order to address the call for reform in the government service, the Civil Service Commission has introduced a performance management system that shall promote the improvement of employee efficiency and organizational effectiveness. This system will serve as basis in determining tenure, transfer, promotion, and appropriate incentives. Since the introduction of the performance management system in the Philippines in the early 2000s, government organizations have placed so much faith in the system to ensure reform and effective delivery of public services. However, government organizations continue to experience challenges in implementing the system. The Philippine Air Force, as one of the major services of the Armed Forces of the Philippines under the Department of National Defense, responsible for aerial warfare, is adopting the Integrated Personal Performance Management System. This performance management system was created based on the guidelines of the Strategic Performance Management System of the Civil Service Commission. Unlike other appraisal systems, the IPPMS concentrates on work outputs, as well as proof of performance of individuals and offices. It also sets provisions on how the human resource management can be linked to personal development actions and the like. The study combined both primary and secondary data in generating data for analysis based on the quantitative method of research. Survey was used to collect primary data. The researchers' survey questionnaire adopted with modification the questionnaire of Dizon et al. 2018 in the study titled Level of Implementation of the Results-Based Performance Management System in the Department of Education Division of Gapan City, Philippines. In determining if there is any significant relationship between the participants' assessment and perception, Mano-Whitney U-test and T-test were utilized. In the study, the IPPMS was analyzed based on how it is implemented in the Philippine Air Force, considering the four areas: clear understanding, communication, fairness, and trust. The study also determined the effectiveness on the use of performance rating and performance-based personal actions. Clear understanding. Raters agree that they understand how the performance review process in the Philippine Air Force works with a grand mean of 2.50. Meanwhile, ratees disagree with it as reflected in the grand mean of 2.06. On communication, the participants have different opinions regarding how the performance review process is discussed with them. Raters agree with a grand mean result of 3.06, while ratees disagree with it as reflected by the grand mean of 1.66. On fairness, the raters and the ratees differ in their assessments regarding the fairness in their performance evaluation. With a grand mean result of 2.84, the raters agree that performance evaluation is fair, while ratees strongly disagree on this item, as seen in their grand mean score, which is 1.58. On trust, both the participants have contrasting view regarding their relationship as raters and ratees. The raters agree that in general, the ratees trust them as reflected in the grand mean result, which is 3.01. On the other hand, the ratees disagree with the raters as seen in the grand mean result of 1.85. Raters agree with an average mean result of 3.0, that the employee's high performance can be linked to the granting of the PBB. Ratees, on the other hand, strongly disagree with it as reflected in the average mean, which is 1.17. On promotion and step increment, With an average mean of 3.31, the raters strongly agree that the employee's high performance can be linked to promotion and step increment. However, having an average mean result of 1.50, the ratees strongly disagree with it. On scholarship and grants, the raters agree that the employee's high performance can be considered in applying for scholarship and grants. However, the ratees strongly disagree with it since there is a palakasan system and there are only few opportunities given to civilian employees. In terms of security of tenure, the raters agree with an average mean of 2.82 that the employee's high performance can warrant them of their security of tenure in the government service, while ratees themselves strongly disagree with it as reflected in the average mean score of 1.17. On disciplinary action, with an average mean of 2.36, the raters disagree that an employee's poor performance or below expectation rating can be used for disciplinary action such as demotion or dismissal in the government service. The same holds true with the raters stating that they strongly agree with this item as reflected in the average mean of 1.35. On the perceived challenges in the implementation of the IPPMS, the top 3 challenges perceived are frequent feedback with a mean of 2.28, verbally interpreted as disagree. Consistency across raters, and raters are military officers or enlisted personnel with mean results of 2.24, each described as disagree, and there is second review of assessment with a mean of 2.22, inferred as disagree. Based on the p-value, the decision is to accept the first null hypothesis, while second and third null hypotheses are rejected. In general, it can be interpreted that although the participants are informed of and knowledgeable on the IPPMS, they still view the system's implementation as a little ineffective and subjective. This assertion can be brought about by the participants' lack of knowledge and appreciation on the purpose of the IPPMS, as well as lack of participation in establishing objectives vis-a-vis work outputs and preparation of the IPCR. It is noteworthy to infer that linking an employee's high performance rating to the performance-based bonus and incentive, promotion and step increment and scholarship and grants is not an effective avenue to motivate employees to perform an exemplary. Same holds true with the use of performance rating to ensure security of tenure and for disciplinary purposes. The Air Force, through its human resource together with the performance management teams, should strengthen its role to address the issues concerning the current implementation of the IPPMS. To help minimize the occurrence of recency error, the use of daily work output journal or diary should be strictly implemented. The PAF PMT should adopt its own internal rules for the employment of either multiple raters or have the rater supervisors assess the performance ratings. The PAF PMT, along with other PMT of the AFP, should elevate to the Department of National Defense approving the implementation of the IPPMS covering the military personnel in order to eliminate, if not reduce, the subjectivity, especially among military personnel raters who are not trained on how the system works. Conduct a PAF-wide coaching and mentoring learning session with the raters, both military and civilian personnel, on a quarterly basis. The PAF PMT should hold quarterly cascading seminars among ratees, which will focus on discussing the guidelines and components of the IPPMS. The PAF PMT should determine potential top performers of the civilian workforce and provide list and justification to the Program on Award and Incentives for Service Excellence Committee for the grant of awards and incentives following the CSC guidelines. List of civilian employees from every PAF unit with high performance rating should be submitted semi-annually to the HR for possible promotion to vacant positions where they may qualify. Supervisors should be required to submit quarterly to the PAF PMT individual development plans or capacity building programs, which will identify the skills gaps of their subordinates. Set up monitoring system which will track and ensure that developmental interventions benefiting civilian employees are implemented and or applied. Forge partnerships with other government agencies or NGOs for capacity building or performance-related activities, seminars, and training. Non-monetary incentives may be given in order to recognize an employee's high-performance rating, such as certificate of commendation or compensatory time off. That ends my presentation. Thank you and have a good day.